Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is Chance Ball Chapter 10, and this one is titled, Whoa, what? This part of the story picks up at Dabi's residence later that night. Dabi! His mum called up the stairs. What? Came the angsty reply. Docs is here! Dabi grunted in annoyance and sauntered down the stairs, giving the two people in uniform a cold stare. What now? He asked in a bored, monotone voice, hands in pockets. Dabi, we've been told your father will be released from prison earlier than expected, so we need to move you next week. Next week? Dabi was shocked to say the least. Look, isn't there another way we can do this? He asked, his tone holding a little bit of exasperation to it. The man in uniform spoke. We discussed this yesterday with you. This is the only option. Your father is dangerous and mentally unstable, as you're well aware of. Dabi winced, painfully aware of his scars. We need to put you into a witness protection program until we can get him behind bars again, or deported, somehow. How long am I in the witness protection for again? Dabi asked. 5 months, minimum. Dabi scowled. 5 months is a hell of a long time to be packing away and hiding, unable to contact anyone I know or care about, he said darkly. He only had one person on his mind at that point. We are aware of this, but this is for your own safety. Dabi clicked his tongue against his teeth and looked away. What about Mum? He asked, gesturing to the grey-haired lady to his left. She'll be taken with us. We need her to stay with us to help with proceedings and prosecutions, the man replied. So I'm on my own then? Dabi asked angrily. Yes and no, we will check in on you from time to time, the other uniformed person, a lady, said bluntly. We are processing your new identity now. We will get you your new details to you by the end of the week. Dabi grunted in frustration and headed back upstairs. Oh, I'm sorry about him. He's been very difficult lately, Dabi's mother said to the uniformed people. Please, don't apologise. It's a huge change. There are probably people he doesn't want to let go of, but for this to be successful, he needs to cut all ties, the lady replied. Later that night, you were on your phone, scrolling mindlessly through Instagram. You scrolled past a picture of Dabi and then quickly scrolled back to it, smiling like an idiot at your phone. It was a picture of him shirtless in the mirror, and he had his hand just below his belt line doing the circle game with his thumb and forefinger, and had tagged the picture as gotcha. You shook your head and snorted with amusement. Idiot. You stayed on the picture for a little while, oogling his fine body. Suddenly a muffled noise outside your window drew your attention, and you looked over at the blinds. You obviously couldn't see through them, but you were sure you heard something outside. You went back to looking at your phone, continuing to scroll, but all of your attention was on the window. There was that noise again. You definitely heard it that time. Quickly you got up and continued to scroll through your phone as you walked out of your room, down the hallway, and into the bathroom that was the next room off to your right. You crept inside and then walked over to the window and peeked through the slats to see into the backyard. There was someone at your bedroom window, peering inside. You froze. Who the hell's that? Your heart was pounding in your chest already. I'm pretty sure that's not Dabi, that's not his figure. You opened a message to Dabi. Hey, is that you outside? That's not funny, asshole. Dabi replied instantly. No. Frick, you sent back. What the hell? I'm coming right now, he replied. You looked back up, and the figure was still there, bobbing their head a bit to see inside your room better. Against your overwhelming desire to not go back to your room, you decided that you should, to keep the stalker entertained while Dabi was making his way to your house. You knew that under pressure, Dabi could be on your doorstep in less than 10 minutes. Yeah, I could stall till then, you thought. Mustering all your courage, you walked back into your room and then dropped back down on the bed. It was eerie knowing someone was watching you, and you prayed for Dabi to suddenly become Usain Bolt. You flicked through your phone, focusing on not looking at the window, while you very slowly counted to 10 in your head. It felt like an eternity when suddenly you heard a yell and a thump outside. He's here! You jumped up and raced down the hall to the back door. Angry shouts and cursing rang out into the still night as you flung the back door open and ran outside. Dabi had cleared your back fence in one parkour-style jump, and in 3 steps had tackled the hooded figure that had been standing outside your window. He had the creep pinned to the ground, a firm grip around their neck. The peeping Tom still had his hoodie on, covering his face, so you ran over to reveal the person. You yanked the hoodie off and shone your phone light directly into the person's eyes. Friggin' knew it, Dabi growled. It was Yuaki. You're frickin' disgusting, you spat at him, kicking him in the shoulder. Dabi punched him. I'm calling the police, you said in a dead tone. No, Yuaki screamed at you. You ignored him, pulling your phone out of your pocket to make good on your threat to call the cops. In another 20 minutes, the police arrived and took Yuaki away. Dabi stayed with you until you'd calmed down a bit. and you thought you were fine, but any little noise outside had you snapping your head to look out the window. Whoa there, Dabi cooed as yet another noise from outside sent you into a tizzy. Sorry, I'm okay, I'm fine, I'm okay, it's okay, I'm okay. No, you're not, freaked out little bundle of cute. Come here, he said, motioning for you to sit between his legs. He pushed himself further up the bed as you crawled up onto him and snuggled your head onto his chest, wrapping his arms and legs around you to give you as much firm pressure all over your body as possible. Just the weight of his limbs on you calmed you instantly, and you sighed happily as you wiggled your head on his chest. Hey, he said softly, you're going to be okay. I'll keep my phone on loud all night, so if you need me, just call. Thanks, babe, he replied, a warm smile gracing your features. That's my girl, he replied with a smile. Sleep well. He gave you a kiss on the forehead, and then one on the lips, and then got up and walked to the door. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Okay, babe, he said with a yawn, the words being distorted by your wide mouth. Night, sexy, he called over his shoulder as he left. It didn't take you long to fall asleep, thoughts of Dabi and his antics filling your mind. Dabi walked home, shivering slightly in the cool night air as his shoulders dipped calmly with his footfall, thinking about what had happened. Hope she sleeps okay. I did my best to take her mind off that creepy asswipe. I'm going to deck him the next time I see him at school, if he ever comes back. His teeth grit in silent anger. Then another thought came to mind. I'm going to have to break up with Yin. His shoulders dropped, and his head hung low as he slowed his walking and dragged his feet. I can't. Images of you flashed through his mind. Your smiling face, the sound of your laugh, everything. How do I even bring it up? That cute little giggle of yours echoed in his ears. I don't want to break her heart. Hell, it'll be my heart that breaks first. I can't leave her. The distinct sound of your voice rang in his memories. I love her. He swallowed thickly. Since when did I become such a pussy? I'm whipped, totally whipped. But I couldn't care less. He smiled sadly to himself. She's the one. His figure slowly disappeared down the street back to his house to be alone with his thoughts, the torture slowly putting him to sleep until the next day. Iwaki wasn't at school the next day, thankfully, and you were hoping that you would never see his creepy-ass face ever again. Dabi, though, was a little more quiet than usual. Having said that, there were times he almost seemed detached from the world, so you decided to just let it slide, since he was very tight-lipped on his past and or problems. Today was Thursday. You were looking forward to the weekend because you were planning on asking Dabi to hang out. You hadn't really organised anything yet, but just being with him was always fun, and so you looked for a chance to pin him down for a hangout sesh. It was lunchtime that you cornered him. Whoa, going somewhere? You asked suggestively, placing your hands either side of him against the lockers, caging him in like he always did to you. Dabi was quite tall compared to you, and your attempts to block him looked pitiful. If he wanted to, he could have almost stepped over your arms to free himself, but he didn't. Instead, he stopped and peered down at you, his turquoise eyes shining with amusement. Oh, looks like the little girl wants to play tough, he quipped, cocking his head with an entertained smirk. Threaten me, he taunted. Okay, well, if you don't obey, then I'll, you flubbed, fumbling for words as his sly grin grew. You're going to have to do better than that, Yin, he leered, leaning down to grasp your chin. Scare me. You took a sharp breath in. You are actually inside your skeleton, you said lowly. He stared at you for a moment. Oh, crap, you're right, he said after thinking it over. It is terrifying. Okay, you win. What do you want from me? A date, this weekend. Let's hang out together, he said, still boxing him in against the locker. This weekend, huh? He sighed and let go of your chin, straightening up again. Yeah, okay, he added in, an almost sad tone as he said it. He looked away sullenly. Oi, you okay? Yeah, he grunted. Dabi, I wish you'd tell me what's going on, you said in a vexed tone. You knew something was wrong with him, but he never told you what was on his mind. Nothing's up. I'm as flaccid as your grandma's breasts, he replied in a monotone voice. What the heck? He pushed out from under your arms and strolled away. See you Friday night, he called over his shoulder as he made his way off down the hall. It was now Friday night. Dude, you really need to tell me what's wrong, you exclaimed. Dabi had been lying on your bed, staring at the wall blankly for the last 10 minutes. I'm good. No, you're not. Just friggin' tell me already. This is getting so annoying, you huffed, crossing your arms across your chest and frowning as you stood beside your bed. Just family trouble, that's all, he replied dismissively. Well, can you elaborate? Nah. Fine, you said, kicking the side of your bed in a huff. Go home then, you sad sack. I don't want to hang out with you if you're going to be like this. Dabi frowned. I don't want it to end like this. Like what? You replied, your heart sinking. What do you mean by end it? Dabi refused to make eye contact as he sat up. Yin, I don't think we should see each other anymore, he said bluntly. A pain ripped through your chest. What? You whispered, the words straining to come out. Yeah, he replied flatly. So that's it? Everything we had over? Shock and anger swelled inside you. Was I just another fling to you? Use me how you want to? Toss me aside, like I don't matter? Angry tears spilled down your cheeks. Dabi sat looking away, his knuckles white from gripping into your bedsheets. He remained silent. What did I do? You screamed, finally finding your voice. Was I not good enough for you? You picked up a stack of books beside you and threw them at him. He didn't even flinch as they smacked into his side. The roar that came from your belly was filled with emotional pain, and you fell to your knees, your heart aching painfully in your chest. Get out of my house! You screamed in anguish. Dabi got straight up and walked out, refusing to even look at you. You watched him leave your room, and a second stab of pain hit your heart. No, I don't want him to leave. You got up and raced to the door after him. Dabi, wait, please, can we talk about this? You sobbed. You grabbed the back of his shirt and buried your face into it. He stopped walking. Dabi, you wailed. You can't do this to me. Let me go, Yin, he said coldly. The tone in his voice was nothing like the sarcastic, warm Dabi that you'd grown to love, and almost fearfully you let him go, watching as he walked down the hall and out of your house, not even once glancing back at you. You collapsed in the hallway and cried, caring for nothing. Well, there ends chapter 10. I'll see you tomorrow for chapter 11. See you then.